Hey, everybody. All right, here we go. So this is the title of this presentation is Be Your Own Google, sort of, mostly. So the usual response I get when I say this is something like that. So it's important to note that what we mean by Be Your Own Google is not Google search, but Google services. So some things that we don't always necessarily think about when we think about Google. So like Google Drive, Google BigQuery, stuff like that. So the idea of this talk is that you can and you should disconnect from, quote, the cloud, unquote. You don't have to depend on the cloud for everything. There are places where it's appropriate, but there's lots of places where it might be more appropriate to run your own services that face the public internet. This sounds scary. I promise you it's not. I promise you probably already have the hardware that you need to make this happen. And on top of like all of those other benefits, you kind of can't see it. It's sort of purple, but it says your data stays yours, which is a big deal. So who the hell am I? So my name is Jarett. I've got over 2 decades of systems engineering experience between multiple operating systems, and that's a little bit scary. I started in New York, went to Notre Dame for graduate school, worked in, yeah, I don't know where that came from, but all right. And then came to DC to work for the Obama campaign and then the inauguration. And now I'm in a company called BioTeam. So what's BioTeam all about? Really, really quickly. It's really hard to do this, take laboratory data and turn it into knowledge. So what we do is we take converged solutions for network, compute, storage, bioinformatics, put them together with really good people, put the whole thing together, and you get happy scientists. So why is that relevant? So the main thing that I've learned working in life science is that data management is the big, big, big problem. Nobody has any idea where anything is, when they did it, what they did it with, et cetera, et cetera. And when they come back in 5 years to go find it, they have no idea where it is. So this is a big problem. No one knows where anything is, and everyone's trying to sell you a new place to put it, and often at a very, very high premium, depending on how much stuff it is, right? So we're going to go over the cloud data solutions now. That we've got access to now. Facebook is not something that people think of necessarily as a cloud data like host, but we use it that way, right? We use it to host pictures, etc. Facebook is a big case study in the failures of cloud computing, right? Cambridge Analytica, we've all heard of that. So they're really, really bad at handling people's data, and it only seems like they're getting worse. Dropbox is sort of the old standby. It's something we've all seen, used, whatever. It's always had reliability and security problems, and the bigger it scales, the worse it gets. Google does a lot of stuff really well. It does Gmail really well. It does Google Drive really well. You can put anything you want to store in it. However, the big thing with Google is, so the middle bullet here says Google Pharma. What that means is that companies that host their data, biotech companies that host their data with Google, often don't know this, but they're subject to having all of that data mined, and then Google is allowed to take that data and be like, you know what, we're going to do this better than you can, and run with your research, run with your stuff, and do it themselves, become their own pharma company if they want. That's in the terms of service. And very, very similar provisions are in many other cloud data services. So you also get a lot of capacity when you do these alternatives, when you do your self-hosted alternatives. You can have half a terabyte of storage available to you, and only you, or your friends, if you want to do it that way, so that you can share stuff, available for very, very little money. So, how do you do it? So, something that's an old laptop or desktop that you have from 2006 or newer is going to do just fine with a couple, maybe hardware upgrades, which are not all that expensive. There are software options that let you do this, something called Sandstorm, which is probably the easiest. You can literally, you install this thing, you kick it off, and before you know it, you can go to, brian.sandstorm.io, and it connects not to their cloud service, but to your computer running on your internet connection, hosting your data that nobody else can see. So, yeah. So there's a couple of other services too. Anybody wants to talk about those can, get at me. That's fine. So demo time. So this is a piece of software called Nextcloud. So this like I said, started life as a Dropbox-alike, file sync and share, that kind of thing. Now it kind of does everything. So, Brian, can you click the link there? We're going to see if this works. I don't know if it's going to actually open the browser window. It's thinking about it. Does it have an internet connection? I feel like that's a... Oh, yeah, just hit yes. That's fine. So I'm gonna take a picture of the people sitting in the front. Can you make that onto the onto the big screen? Okay. All right. Just wanted to. All right. So it said there. Don't worry about the. I'm lazy, so yeah, proceed is fine. So, all right. Now I get to log in. It's already there. And now you all know what my password is. It's a bunch of dots. Okay. So there's my stuff. So if I go down to extremely legal file sharing, that's all of Star Trek Discovery if anybody wants it, by the way. All right. So for no dick pics or another folder, I'm sorry. So if we go all the way down to where the pictures are, yeah, it's fine. Come on. I'm like really trying to scroll here. You will see, because I have this program running on my phone, and it automatically syncs to this server that is running in my house. If it ever loads, because God only knows how fast the internet is here. Come on. All right. Well, I'm not going to hold this up. So anyway, that's the idea. It would work if the internet here was fast enough. Yay! Anyway, post your old stuff. It's not that hard. And that was a lot. So, spacebar. Yes. That's right. You could do that because I'm logged in. So that was a lot all at once. So thanks for listening.